Hey everyone, this is David Kern with Wealthquest. Today we're going to be talking about Roth conversions and whether or not they may make sense for you. So before we jump into what Roth conversions are, let's cover the basics about traditional IRAs and Roth IRAs. A traditional IRA is funded with pre-tax dollars that you get a tax deduction for when you make the contribution, and then it grows tax deferred. When you take that money out in retirement, you'll pay taxes on both the principal and the gain. A Roth IRA is the opposite from a tax standpoint. A Roth IRA is funded with after-tax dollars, and that account grows tax-free into the future. And when you take money out in retirement, you pay no tax on neither the principal nor the gain. So it's a really tax-efficient vehicle. Now on to Roth conversions. Roth conversions are when you take dollars from a traditional IRA and you intentionally convert those dollars into a Roth IRA. Now there's a price to pay for this exercise, and it comes in the form of taxes. Whatever amount you convert from the traditional to the Roth, that is income to you, and so you pay taxes on it. So you may be asking yourself the question, why would we want to voluntarily pay taxes when we wouldn't have to otherwise by not doing a conversion? Well, there are a few situations where doing a conversion may make sense. The first one would be if you expect that your tax bracket to be higher in the future than what it is right now. A couple of examples of people who find themselves in this situation could be someone early on in their career who anticipates that their earnings and or their tax bracket will be higher in the future. They may want to convert traditional to Roth now and pay that tax now at a time when they're in a lower tax bracket. Another example of someone in this situation could be the retiree. They've retired, their income has stopped, and they have a window of time between retirement and when their RMDs kick in from their IRAs at age 72, and their income will be higher. So there could be this window where you find yourself in a really low tax bracket, and it could make sense to do Roth conversions then. The other reason it could make sense is because of your timeline. If you have a long timeline for these dollars, the longer these dollars could grow tax-free in a Roth IRA, the better. And the last reason it may make sense to do a Roth conversion is for legacy. So it is a lot more efficient to inherit a Roth IRA than it is a traditional IRA. As a non-spouse beneficiary under current rules, if you inherit an IRA, then you have 10 years before you have to take that account and fully distribute it to yourself, which means you have 10 years to pay that tax. Now you could take it all in year 1, all in year 10, or anything in between, but the money has to be fully distributed as the non-spouse beneficiary by the end of 10 years. The same is true for Roth IRAs in the sense that you have 10 years to fully distribute that money as a beneficiary of a Roth, but there's no tax on it. So you could leave this money in the Roth IRA, let it continue to grow tax-free, and take the money out in year 9 or 10 and pay zero tax on the growth and the principal. So these are some reasons that you may want to do a Roth conversion. The bonus I want to leave you with is Roth conversions make a lot of sense when you have a down market. We experienced this back in March when the market pulled back very dramatically. If you do a Roth conversion kind of in the belly of that beast, then you get to convert the dollars from IRA to Roth and then take advantage of the tax-free growth in the Roth on the other side. So I hope this was helpful. Of course, consult your tax advisor and your advisor about whether or not a Roth conversion is right for you. And of course, we welcome any questions that you may have about Roth conversions. Have a great weekend.